Okay, here we go with book number 3, The Rain Dragon Rescue. Chapter 1, Night Noise. It sounded like claws scratching against the side of the house. Giant claws. Ben's eyes flew open. Where am I? He wondered. The room was inky black thanks to a pair of heavy curtains that blocked the moonlight. The mattress felt lumpy, and the quilt smelled like mothballs. There was only one thing recognizable, the soft gnawing sound of Snooze, Ben's hamster, as he chewed the toilet paper tube. It wasn't unusual for Snooze to be wide awake in the middle of the night. He was nocturnal, after all. But the other noise? Screech! Had a window just opened? Ben sat up and clutched the pillow to his chest. His eyes adjusted and he remembered that he wasn't in his regular bedroom. No glow-in-the-dark stars on the ceiling, no dinosaur-shaped nightlight in the corner, no mother or father down the hall to ask, well, what's going on out there? This was the cramped extra bedroom right next to the kitchen at his grandfather's house. And that noise had come from the kitchen. Back in Los Angeles, Ben's father had installed a high-tech home security system. If anyone tried to break in, alarms would ring and guards would come running. But Grandpa Abe didn't have anything like that. The only alarm system he had was his black tomcat, Barnaby, who hissed when disturbed. Hiss! Uh-oh. Ben froze. Maybe it would be best to stay in bed. If a burglar had decided to take something from Grandpa Abe's house, then let it be. What could Ben do? He wasn't good at karate or judo, and he certainly didn't know how to use a lasso. The only time he had gotten into a fight was when he wrestled Eli Frinklebaum to the ground after Eli had cut in front of him for the umpteenth time in the snack line at school. It had been bad enough to have to wait 10 minutes to get a bag of chips, but to have Eli snicker and push his way to the front of the line every single day was just totally unfair. And when he took the very last bag of barbecue curlies, the one that Ben had been eyeing, well, it was an event that all students at the Oakville Hebrew Academy still talked about. Whoosh! A sudden burst of orange light glowed beneath the bedroom door and then disappeared. Ben sniffed. Smoke. He scrambled out of bed. If there was a fire in the kitchen, then the door would feel hot. But it was cool to his touch, and so very carefully he cracked it open. Moonlight trickled in through the front windows. Barnaby sat at the table surrounded by dirty dishes, his back arched, his fur sticking up as if someone had rubbed a balloon all over it. Tendrils of smoke rose from a single hole in the tablecloth. Barnaby stared at the counter, hissing like a snake. Ben poked his head out of his bedroom just far enough to get a better view. At Grandpa Abe's house, the kitchen window was always left halfway open so that Barnaby could come and go as he pleased. But on this night, it had been opened all the way, and someone was reaching through. Correction, not someone, something. The intruder's arm was covered in black scales and was long enough to stretch down the counter. Its paw, which was bigger than a frisbee, had 4 finger-like claws. If it hadn't been for all his adventures all over the last few days, Ben might have thought that he was going absolutely and totally crazy. But he knew, without a doubt, that the creature reaching into his grandfather's house in the middle of the night was a dragon. A real, live, fire-breathing dragon. Ben had seen it before, but never up close. A brave person might have said hello, but Ben would never describe himself as being brave, and talking to a dragon in the middle of the night felt a little bit risky. "You're a cautious boy," his mother would say. There's nothing wrong with being cautious. Ben pressed himself against the wall, his heart flip-flopping as the dragon's claws tapped along the counter. The dragon grabbed a bag of bagels and then tossed it to the floor. It shoved aside a roll of paper towels and a ratty old rag. It moved plates around coffee cups and then paused at the toaster. And with a quick yank, it pulled the cord from the wall socket and whisked the toaster right up out of the window. Outside, a shape moved toward the lawn. Ben ran to the living room, climbed onto the couch, and peered out the front window. Barnaby stopped hissing and scampered up next to Ben, and they both watched as a massive dragon galloped across the grass and took flight into the sky. Moonlight glinted off the toaster as the creature rose above the rooftops and disappeared from view. Ben turned and glared at Barnaby. "You saw nothing," he told the cat. "That dragon, it's our secret." And that is the end of chapter 1.